Good morning, Dr. Ghosh, Shada ma'am, heads and coordinators, and all my teachers. I welcome you all to this very auspicious morning, on the morning of Shivaji Jayanti, right? Before we begin this celebration, I request Dr. Ghosh, Shada ma'am, heads and coordinators to please come and light a lamp at Shivaji Maharaj's statue so that we can pay obeisance to the great man.
काय सांगू तुम्हाला माझ्या शिवाची गोष्ट, काय सांगू तुम्हाला माझ्या शिवाची गोष्ट. माझ्या शिवाने दिलं या महाराष्ट्राला हात भरून, आम्ही बरबी सांगायचं नाही. काय सांगू तुम्हाला माझ्या शिवाची गोष्ट, अहो काय सांगू तुम्हाला माझ्या शिवाची गोष्ट. आम्ही सांगायचं हृदयातून आणि तुम्ही ऐकायचं मनातून.
Thank you, Thakur sir. Swami Vivekananda once said,
I want to know what does that mean.
Thakur sir, would you like to explain, please?
It says what I will tell about Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, he himself has given so much to Maharashtra with his full dedication, with his full heart, and we are trying to show this PPT a small glimpse of his. And whatever we are trying to deliver this, we are trying to deliver from our heart, and we request that you should listen from your heart.
Swami Vivekananda once said, is there a greater hero, a greater saint, a greater bhakt, and a greater king than Shivaji? Shivaji was the very embodiment of the born ruler of men as typified in our great epics. His name was the type of the real son of India, representing the true consciousness of the nation. It was he who showed what the future of India is going to be, sooner or later. A group of independent units under one umbrella, as it were, under one supreme imperial suzerainty. This morning cannot be done without taking a journey into the pages of history and taking a glimpse into the life of great Shivaji Maharaj. Shivaji Maharaj was born on the hill fort of Shivneri, near the city of Junnar, in Pune on 19 February 1630 to Shahaji Bhosle and Jijabai. When Jijabai was pregnant, she prayed to Lord Shiva for his blessings towards her unborn child. When the son was born, he was named as Shivaji after the Lord Shiva. As a child, Shivaji was an extremely devoted son to his mother and almost adored her like a deity. He was deeply influenced by the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata that his mother narrated to him. These stories further went and kindled the flame of freedom in the young Shiva. His mother taught him politics and religion, and at the same time she trained him in the art of fighting by wielding the stick and dandpatta. It is because of Jijabai's teachings he became a well-prepared warrior, groomed for the mission ahead. At the tender age of 16, Shivaji saw what the people were experiencing. There was a lot of oppression and humiliation. The children and wives were being taken into slavery. The temples were being broken. There was all restrictions on fairs and rituals. There was a lot of discrimination in various forms, like charging custom duties on fairs, festival, dismissal from government posts for being a Hindu. They were also being levied a tax just for following a religion called jizya. These acts went on unchallenged. It was at this time that Shivaji stood up to the injustice. He decided to arouse the conscience of his people. He decided that he would create his own Swarajya. He had a clear vision wherein he, along with his friends and followers, took oath at Raireshwar temple by cutting his little finger and offering the blood on the shrine, thereby swearing to build a Swarajya which will fight his oppressors and get freedom. To see this oath-taking ceremony, we have a small skit presented to you by the team of MYP.
हे तुला समजलं पाहिजे आपण ह्यासाठी आमचं
तुम्ही शिकवणार आणि मी शिकणार.
शाबास पोरा.
असं आहे.
Small glimpse of Shivaji.
शिक्षकात राशील एक दिवस आपलं स्वतःचं स्वराज्य उभा करशील.
With his Dada Sahib, who was training him in the art of sword fighting.
साहेबांचा विजय असतो. आई साहेब, तुम्ही आम्हाला बोलवलं होतं का?
होय शिवा, आम्ही तुला बोलवले होते. आम्हाला तुमच्याशी जरा बोलायचे होते.
बोला आई साहेब.
शिवा, तुम्हाला ठाऊक आहे, तू आमच्या गर्भात होता तेव्हा आम्ही दऱ्याखोऱ्यातून आणि काट्यावाळंडातून घोड्यावरून भरपूर प्रवास केला. का? आम्हाला याची गरज नव्हती, पण आम्हाला ठाऊक होते आमच्या पोटी जन्माला येणाऱ्याला रयतेच्या रक्षणासाठी, कल्याणासाठी आणि स्वराज्यासाठी लढा द्यावा लागणार आहे. आणि त्यासाठी त्याला घोड्यावरून आयुष्यभर प्रवास करावा लागणार आहे. शिवबा, आई ही मुलांवर संस्कार करते, ते फक्त मूल जन्माल्यावरच नाही, तर ते गर्भात असल्यापासूनच त्यावर संस्काराचे बीज रोवले गेले पाहिजे.
होय आई साहेब. युद्धनिष्ठा, शिस्त, हे सगळं आम्ही तुमच्याकडनं कौशल्य आणि रयतेसाठी प्रेम, हे सगळं तुम्हीच शिकवलं.
शिवबा, एक लक्षात ठेव, अन्याय करणाऱ्यापेक्षा अन्याय सहन करणारा मोठा पापी असतो. आणि मी म्हणते, अन्याय रोखण्यासाठी नेहमी देवानच का अवतार घ्यावा? तुम्ही आम्ही का नाही? ज्याच्यामध्ये हिंमत आणि धैर्य आहे तो कुणीही हे कार्य करू शकतो. शिवबा, आज मला तुझ्याकडनं वचन हवंय. तू आपल्या रयतेला अन्यायापासून, गुलामगिरीतून मुक्त करशील आणि स्वतःचे स्वराज्य निर्माण करशील. ही जी आहे भवानीची तलवार, तिचा आशीर्वाद तुझ्यासोबत नेहमी असेल.
हे तुम्हाला वचन देतो आई साहेब. हे तुम्हाला वचन देतो.
यशस्वी हो.
What we saw was a promise given by Shivaji Maharaj to his mother, because all the hardships that she had borne, it had to be brought to justice, and that is what Shivaji Maharaj promised his mother. A very core message that we receive is to remove all the injustice in the world, we don't need to wait for a God. We are all humans and we all have that power to overcome the injustice. And that is what Shivaji Maharaj's mother asked him to do.
महाराज, आई सापडला तुम्ही वसंत केला, पण आपण हे करायचे कसं?
गड्यांनो, आमचे वडील विजापूरच्या सरदाराची जहागिरी चालवतात. आणि आम्हाला त्यात मुळीच आनंद वाटत नाही. सुलतानाच्या वतनदारीला आपण का सहन करायचं? पण आहे कोण तो आदिलशाह? दुसऱ्याच्या उंजळीने पाणी पिण्या प्रथा नाही आपली. आपल्याला देवांनी मुटकं दिलेत, हात दिलेत कर्तव्य पूर्ण करण्यासाठी. आपल्या चारी बाजूला नेहमी युद्ध चालू असतात, पण त्यात आपलीच माणसं हात मरतात. कुटुंबाचे कुटुंब देशोधडीला लागतात. आपल्याच मुलखात रक्त सांडतं, धुळदाण होते. आणि एवढं सगळं सोसून सुद्धा आपल्या पदरी काय पडतं? ही गुलामगिरी. आपण किती दिवस सहन करायचं? दुसऱ्यासाठी किती दिवस खपायचं? तुम्हीच सांगा.
सांगा महाराज. तुम्ही म्हणाल तिथे लाथ मारून मातीचा सोना काढू. तुम्ही फक्त सांगा, मी सगळे तुमच्या सोबत आहोत.
पण महाराज, ठरलं तर मग आपण आपल्या मातीसाठी झटायचं, लढा द्यायचा आणि लागलंच तर प्राणाची आहुती सुद्धा द्यायची. पण आजपासून आई साहेबांनी म्हणल्यासारखं सहन करायचं नाही. काय? मी आज शपथ घेतो, आजपासून फक्त एकच ध्येय, निर्माण करणारी हिंदवी स्वराज्य.
हर हर महादेव! हर हर महादेव!
Swarajya means independence from foreign rule. Shivaji laid the foundation of Swarajya with small troops. He infused moral and martial tradition. This was soon followed by followers who laid their lives for the formation of Swarajya. He gave them a dream and a hope that one day they would have a land of their own, a land which they could call of their own, a land that was free of injustice and separation, a land where they could be heard and could have their say. It took about around 3 decades when the dream was translated into reality, formation of Swarajya. Shivaji was well known for his fatherly attitude toward his subject. Shivaji believed that the kingdom belonged to the people. He encouraged participation of people from all socio-economic groups into the changing environments of politics. There was no discrimination of caste, creed or religion in his kingdom. He had high virtue for his women, children and all the religious places. His army had strict information, strict orders, wherein they were not allowed to molest or harm women and children and religious places. And if they did, they would face severe punishment, maybe death. And this he led by example throughout his life. One of the instances when his army had defeated the Subedar of Kalyan, they had captured the beautiful daughter of Subedar and brought to Shivaji. When the daughter was brought to Shivaji's palace, Shivaji apologized her and appreciated her beauty by saying that if his mother was such beautiful, he would have inherited this beauty, and he respectfully returned her to her family.
Shivaji is a great leader. His influence on account of his inspiring leadership grew so rapidly that even his enemy Aurangzeb admitted that many armies have been employed against him since for 19 years, but still Shivaji's states grew up. The virtue of discipline and loyalty to master was rooted deep within his people. Shivaji always tested whether his rules were being implicit followed or not. One of the incidents, one day Shivaji came to the fort when the sun set, and he ordered the gatekeeper to open the door. But the gatekeeper politely said, "Sorry Maharaj, we can't." Shivaji tried to prove his identity. He showed the sign of the royal sign, but still the gatekeeper didn't open the gate for him, saying that these rules were laid by him. Shivaji then got angry and he said that he would be punished for this action. But still, the gatekeeper kept his word. So Shivaji went back. And when early morning when he came back, he rewarded the gatekeeper for his loyalty. This is how the discipline was rooted within the Mauryaas.
Shivaji, the great leader, had virtues of his leadership mainly rooted in discipline, leading by example, high moral character, fierce determination, skillful war strategies, and high level of loyalty and respect. Time management was one of the key of his leadership. Proactive initiative to confront his enemy. Shivaji set an example by leading himself and leading from the forefront. One of the instances when Shivaji and his army had looted the Surat for the second time and they were returning back. Near Chandwad, Shivaji had to face the Mughal army and they had to have a battle with them. Shivaji was in dilemma. He knew that he had to send the treasure that he had carried from Surat at safe place with minimum casualties. He at once took the action and divided his army into 4 pillars. And they were led by clever and capable commanders. And he himself fought the battle with the army from Mughal empires and successfully defeated them. At the same time, he ensured that the treasure and his rest of the army reached the safe places on time.
Shivaji was known for his pioneer in guerrilla warfare, known as Ganima Kawa. Guerrilla warfare is used basically by small armies to fight against the larger ones. He was also called as a mountain rat by his enemy Aurangzeb for his swift movements. There were many tactics used by Shivaji for the battle, such as he used to spread rumors that Shivaji disappeared in thin air, or there are 5 to 6 Shivajis coming for a surprise attack. And this secret service man Bahirji Naik was mainly responsible for this. One of the renowned example of Ganima Kawa was Shivaji's historic meeting with Afzal Khan. Afzal Khan, the commander of Bijapur, was known for his cruelty. Once, Shivaji Maharaj was being trapped at the foot of Pratapgarh. He had no option. If he had admit himself in front of Afzal Khan, Swaraj would be finished. If not, war was for sure. So Shivaji decided to meet Afzal Khan at the foot of Pratapgarh, where they decide that only 2 bodyguards from Afzal Khan as well as 2 bodyguards from Shivaji Maharaj will be coming for the meeting. And when they met, Afzal Khan, a built man, he just called Shivaji Maharaj for a hug. Shivaji Maharaj came only up to his shoulder. And when Shivaji Maharaj came close to him, the cruel Afzal Khan, he removed his dagger and tried to stamp on his back. But the armor saved him. Shivaji Maharaj quickly reacted on this and he just removed his steel claws, known as Wagner, and just tore down his bowels. These are some guerrilla warfares, the Ganima Kawas made by Shivaji.
At that time, when sea was mainly controlled by foreign rulers like the Dutch, British and Portuguese, there was no one in the kingdom who had ever thought of the future dangers and taken an effort to build naval base. Shivaji was the one who visualized the necessity of secure coastline. He decided to build a naval base with a strong navy that would secure his kingdom and his army. His strategy included building sea forts like the Vijayadurg, Sindhudurg, Padmadurg, etc. At the same time, he also acquired fleet of around 200 ships, which were included the warships and able commanders and admirals. And that is why he is called the father of Indian Navy. Shivaji was brought up since his childhood in the rugged environments of Deccan and Sahyadri. He had brilliant knowledge about the hilltops, the narrow creeks, rivers, and each and every region of his kingdom. This helped him to understand the geographical region and make plannings, strategies for his military warfare. He also had good understanding of the monsoon, the arrival and the impact of monsoon on different regions. And therefore, he could decide what time and how to plan the wars. His good understanding and deep knowledge about geography also helped him to prepare maps of different regions in the country. Often, when any foreigners visited him, he used to inquire with them about their geographical regions, their economic factors, and all this knowledge he used while constructing his own Swarajya. He knew having a strong fort was the necessity to keep away the enemy and spread his kingdom. And therefore, he had around 240 forts, out of which 111 were built by Shivaji himself. These forts were the sea forts and the land forts at the same time. These forts were of different types, like the gadis, the small residential fortresses, vandurgs, the forest forts, staldurgs, the ground forts, giridurgs, hill forts, and also he had the jaldurgs, that is the marine forts. Very few of them were into settlements like the Rajgarh and the Raigad. Forts played an important role as a center to keep the arms and garrisons. They were also the point of vigil and act as borders of kingdom. Every fort was well equipped with darukhana, that is the powder house, a granary, that is the ambarkhana, and a storeroom for oil and ghee. Due care was taken to have enough water supply. Let us watch a small video that shows the different forts in Maharashtra.
The great Maratha ruler was a master of fortification. He built and refurbished many hill, coastal and sea forts in Maharashtra. To check the Portuguese onslaught, Shivaji created an armada under the command of Sarkhel Kanhoji Angre and constructed a sea fort in Malvan, the Sindhudurg fort. It took 3 years of round-the-clock work by 6,000 men to complete this fort. A 30-foot high wall skirts the entire 2-mile shore of the island. 52 strong bastions are provided along the wall of this formidable fort. Sindhudurg is now a popular tourist center. Shivaji's footprint and palm print, taken on a limestone during construction, is still kept here for posterity. Another outstanding fort, Janjira, is built on an island 1 kilometer from Murud coast. Built in the 15th century, the fort was under Malik Ambar, an Abyssinian knight. It was so formidable that it remained unconquered. It has numerous Arabic inscriptions. Several guns, including the Kalal Bangri, a mighty gun atop the main wall, guarded the fort. It was this invincibility of Janjira which prompted Shivaji to create a chain of strategically located and impregnable forts as part of his defense strategy. One of these is Vijayadurg, the Victory Fort. Located north of Sindhudurg. The magnificent fort of Daulatabad, formerly known as Devgiri, has withstood several invasions. Originally built by the Yadava kings, the fort became an outpost of Alauddin Khilji when he overthrew the Yadava kingdom in 1294. The most striking feature of this fort is the 70-meter-tall Chand Minar. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was so impressed by the impregnability of the fort that in the year 1339 shifted his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad for a brief period. Close to Pune, the Singar fort is the strongest from the defense point of view. Earlier known as Kondhana Fort, Tanaji, the warrior Sardar of Shivaji, laid his life in a battle against the Mughals while trying to capture the fort. The sacrifice of Tanaji caused Shivaji great sadness, and he renamed the fort as Singar, the fort of a lion, as a monument to his loyal and brave friend. The great fort of Panhala. History has it that Baji Prabhu, another brave lieutenant of Shivaji, engaged the enemy in battle to facilitate Shivaji's escape from Panhala fort and fell only when he heard signals of Shivaji's safe retreat to a nearby stronghold. Fort Panhala still retains its legendary status to this day. Now we move on to the Raigad Fort. It is in this fort that Shivaji was coronated. The main features of this fort are the Ganga Sagar Lake, the King's Mansion, and the Sat Minar. Raigad Fort is where Shivaji also breathed his last. Towards the north of Mumbai stands the Vasai Fort, a grand Portuguese stronghold of the 16th century. It is now a place of tourist interest. Pieces of a glorious past, still cemented in the walls of these forts, speak of a time which was preparing to create a foundation for what was going to be the richest, the most glorious state, Maharashtra.
Forts are not a place only just as a tourism place or a place to eat and drink. They are the legacies of our history and we need to protect them. Building the forts had foresightedness and strong determination and sacrifice of hundreds of people while building them. And it is our duty to protect these forts. Some of the steps that we can follow to do our share in the protection are: prevent ourselves and others from spilling on the walls, participate in the regular cleanliness drives, be a part of Adopt a Heritage initiative, and spread awareness about these monuments and their importance. Indeed, Shivaji Maharaj was a true example of a great entity who demonstrated the Ivy learner profiles. He was a risk taker, a principled person, but a caring king, knowledgeable, inquirer, reflective and balanced at the same time. Today, Shivaji is the national hero of India. He is regarded as the warrior legend who paved the way to Indian independence. We strongly feel his legacy should be known to the younger generations, and that is a true tribute to Shivaji. True tribute to Shivaji also does not mean song and dance and DJs, but to follow and practice the virtues of his leadership, determination, and love for the country and its people.
As citizens, we celebrate Shivaji Jayanti. We always tend to look for a Shivaji in a person outside of us. A person who will lead us, a person who will bring justice to all of us. But what stops us from penetrating our own souls to unleash that courage, to unleash that knowledge that we all possess? Why don't we do this? What stops us to make the society a better place? Today, as we remember Shivaji Maharaj, we remember him for the great leader that he was. But he didn't become a great leader just by simply sitting on the throne. He had to develop a vision. He had to strengthen his will and strength to fight failures. It was all because he had compassion for his subjects. He believed in justice. He believed in equality. He believed that every human should be able to rule himself first. He should be able to discipline himself first. Only then would he be able to accomplish the same attitude towards others and build his own Swarajya.
With this, we come to end with the presentation. Thank you, sir, ma'am, and all the heads and coordinators for encouraging us to give this presentation. Thank you, teachers, for your being a kind audience, and thank you Poman Bhaiya and all the ICT team who helped us during this presentation. Thank you, teachers. Thank you so much.